significantly by what happens in Washington. So we run, I'm the chairman of a US-based, a Washington, DC-based investment bank, which also has a private equity wing. And we invest, most of our work is in emerging markets, something like 80% is in Africa. We have another platform. We run a $500 million private equity fund based in São Paulo, Brazil. Again, it's focused on investing in African agriculture. The third one you mentioned is we recently started the first investment bank in Ethiopia, which is one of the 5 largest economies in Africa. So we're very excited. So I look at things from multiple platforms. And certainly speaking, and I want to focus, I was looking at the program, and there aren't very many discussions here today about Africa. So just given 2-3 minutes, perhaps maybe I can focus on what is happening in Africa, why we invest in Africa very significantly, why we do investment banking work in Africa, is because we see the opportunities on the continent very significant, especially, as I said, even the United States are now focusing on a lot of things that is happening, especially in the natural resource space, which we are investing in natural resources. So we do look at pictures like inflation. Where is it coming from? How is it impacting? There are 2 things we look at. One is the imported inflation. I think you mentioned that. Certainly Africa is a recipient of imported inflation. Partly is because after the pandemic, the lingering effect is still there, okay? But secondly, geopolitics. I mean, if you saw right after the Russian-Ukraine war started, a lot of imports into Africa, especially commodities, fertilizers, doubled or tripled. And again, that had an impact on imported inflation. That's one component of it. The other side of it is really what happens in each one of these countries. Each country in Africa has its own dynamics. So some is stronger at withstanding the imported inflation or the challenges that they face domestically, others maybe not so. So there's 2 components to it, David, as you asked me, the imported inflation component as well as the domestic side of it, but has an impact. The fact that the US dollar until very recently was expensive also had, again, an impact on much of the African countries. There are very few who benefit from a strong dollar, but also in some ways